Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel Rapid Revision of Orthopedics by Dr. Pratik Joshi. Now, I have something different in store for you this time, and we have a guest speaker, Dr. Srisha, from the Department of Orthopedics at Vijay Medical College and Sassoon General Hospital, Pune. Dr. Srisha will be covering congenital talipes equinovarus or CTEV. Now, before we actually move on to the topic, my contact email is in the channel information, and you can get in touch over Facebook or Instagram. And also, please leave comments for feedback or criticism so that I can improve upon the next video. And as usual, like, share, and subscribe, and put this video across to your friends and anyone who you think will benefit from it. So, over to you, Dr. Srisha.
Hello everyone, heartiest greetings to all the viewers of Dr. Pratik Joshi's YouTube channel. I am Dr. Srisha Prataje, Junior Resident in Orthopedics in BJMC and Sassoon General Hospital, Pune. Before starting the topic, I would like to take you back to the days of anatomy wherein we studied the foot anatomy. The bones are the talus bone, the calcaneum, navicular, cuboid and the cuneiform bones. For the convenience of discussion, we would like to divide the foot into three parts. The hind foot having talus and calcaneum, the midfoot having cuboid, navicular and cuneiform bones, and the forefoot having metatarsal and phalangeal joints. I want you to be familiar with certain terminologies that will be discussed in future. Pes indicates the foot, it's a Latin term. Talus means the ankle. So the word talipus means it's the ankle and foot complex. Cavus is the deformity wherein there is exaggeration of medial longitudinal arch, and the reverse is the planus, that is flat foot. If there is deviation of the forefoot towards the midline, then it is forefoot adduction and the reverse is abduction. Imagine you're looking at the leg and foot from behind. If the foot is deviated towards the midline, then we call it as varus deformity, and the reverse is valgus deformity. If there is exaggeration of plantar flexion, then we call it equinus, and the reverse is calcaneus. This image shows you the muscles, tendons and the capsule around the foot and ankle. The one highlighted in the blue is the tendo Achilles. Imagine a situation where there is short tendo Achilles and it is contracted, then the entire ankle will go into equinus deformity. The one highlighted in the red is the tendon of tibialis posterior, which runs behind the medial malleolus inside the flexor retinaculum, getting inserted to the medial aspect of the navicular and medial cuneiform bones. What if it goes into shortening and contracture? The forefoot will be medially deviated and there will be inversion, and if there is contracture and short capsule in the posterior and the medial aspect of the foot, it will lead to cavus deformity. So now we have cavus, that is exaggerated medial longitudinal arch, varus deformity, equinus deformity and forefoot adduction. The combination of one or more deformities give us a condition like this, which we call congenital talipus equinovarus, that is CTEV. Congenital stands for right from birth, talipus is the ankle and foot complex, equinovarus are the two important deformities. The CTEV looks like a chubby foot, mimics the club of golf club, hence it is popularly called as club foot. How common it is? It is seen usually in 1 in 1000 live births. It is bilateral in 60% of the cases with the male predominance. Many scientists proposed several theories behind the CTEV. The oldest being the theory of Hippocrates, that is mechanical theory, because clubfoot was found to have associated with oligohydramnios, and because of the compression of the uterine muscles, it was believed that there is mechanical compression which is leading to clubfoot. The other being Keith's vascular theory, where there is abnormal distribution of the vessels leading to atrophy and contracture of the soleal muscles with hypertrophic anterior tibial artery. Primary germplasm defect, there is germ cell lineage defect of the tarsal bones leading to deformed dysplastic tarsal bones. Primary soft tissue abnormalities, that is contracture and retractile muscle fibers in the tendons, ligaments and the capsule leading to clubfoot. The other being the genetics, that is autosomal dominant inheritance and intrauterine growth restriction by Baum. But none of these theories could successfully explain the clubfoot. So we believe that the most common cause of clubfoot is idiopathic. The other causes are neurogenic in origin, most common being the spina bifida occulta, syndromic associations like Freeman syndrome, Mobius syndrome, musculoskeletal dysplasias like steatodysplasia and arthrogryposis multiplexa congenita, paralytic disorders like polio, Friedreich's ataxia and myelodysplasia. What is wrong inside the clubfoot? Is it the bones? The bones are dysplastic and are small in size. Important being the talus. The talus is short, small in size with short neck and the distal aspect which is deviated medially and towards the plantar side. What about the muscles? The muscles are atrophic and there is abnormal distribution of type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers. Ligaments and the capsules are short and contracted. There are 4 important deformities. They are cavus deformity, adduction of the forefoot which happens mainly in the talonavicular joint, the varus deformity of heel which is mainly in the subtalar joint, the equinus deformity, that is plantar flexion of the foot mainly in the ankle joint. You can remember with the mnemonic CAVE. How do you diagnose clubfoot? It is mainly on the clinical judgment. We have another condition called postural CTEV which mimics clubfoot, but there is no contracture or no restriction of mobility, which can be differentiated with the test called dorsiflexion test. In a normal foot, when you dorsiflex the foot, the dorsal aspect of the foot will be touching the shin. But in case of a club foot, the dorsal aspect will not be touching the shin. The other important tool in diagnosis is the radiographic evaluation. X-ray of foot in anteroposterior plane and stress dorsiflexion lateral plane give us several details like talocalcaneal angle, which is also called Kite's angle, and tibiocalcaneal angle. Kite's angle has been asked multiple times in the entrance exams. This is the anteroposterior X-ray of the foot. The yellow line shows the long axis of the talus and the blue line shows the long axis of the calcaneum, and the angle subtended between them is 30 to 55 degree in a normal case. But in case of CTEV, because of the crowding of bones, the angle is less, and less than 25 degree is diagnostic of clubfoot. Stress dorsiflexion lateral view of the foot. The talocalcaneal angle in normal case is 25 to 50 degree, but in case of CTEV, the long axis of talus and calcaneum will be parallel, giving no angle. Another potential MCQ for you is Kite's index. Kite's index is the sum total of angle in AP and stress dorsiflexion lateral view. Kite's angle is the angle of AP, but Kite's index is the total of anteroposterior and lateral view. There are several scoring systems advocated to grade the severity of CTEV. Important among them are Carroll, DiMeglio, and Pirani scoring. Pirani scoring has been a MCQ since long time. Previous Pirani scoring had 10 indicators, but modified Pirani scoring has 6 indicators, 3 in the midfoot and 3 in the hindfoot. The midfoot indicators are the lateral curvature, the lateral border curvature of the foot, midfoot crease, and the palpation of the talus. The hindfoot criteria are rigidity of equinus deformity, palpation of the calcaneum, and the hindfoot crease. Each indicator is given points like 0, 0.5 and 1, 0 being normal and 1 being the severe form. And the maximum score of Pirani is 6, which is severe. How do you treat it? In the olden era, it was believed that CTEV should be treated surgically, but several orthopedicians like Ponseti and Kites advocated conservative management of CTEV with very good success results. So, the treatment of choice for club foot is manipulation and casting. I repeat, it is manipulation and casting. Previously, Dr. Kites advocated casting with after 1 month of birth with twice weekly cast given below knee, but with low success rate. Dr. Ignacio Ponseti advocated the idea of starting the casting right from the birth, and he believed in toe groin cast, that is from toe till the groin, that is above knee cast with knee kept in 90 degrees of flexion. 6 casts are given every week. Casts are changed every week with reduction held around the talus. Important thing is the order of correction. It is cavus followed by adduction, followed by varus deformity, followed by equinus. I repeat, the first deformity to be corrected is cavus and the last deformity to be corrected is equinus. And even though we change the cast every week, the last cast, which is given for equinus deformity, is kept for 3 weeks. Remembering the contribution of Dr. Ignacio Ponseti, a Spanish scientist, his birthday 3rd June is being celebrated as World Club Foot Day. This is the photograph of the series of casts given for the club foot. The first cast, if you can see this, it is given for the correction of cavus, and the last cast for equinus. The last cast is kept for 3 weeks. The job is not done if you just give the cast. We have to maintain the reduction, we have to maintain so that the deformity will not recur in future. So we give foot abduction arthrosis. One important among them is Dennis Brown splint, which is given for around 23 hours a day for a minimum period of 3 months. Ideally, it should be given till the child starts walking. And once the child starts walking, it should be given in the night time till the child attains 4 to 5 years of age. And once the child starts walking, CTEV shoes designed by Thomas should be given in the daytime. The special features of CTEV shoes are the medial border will be straight so that the adduction deformity will not recur. Outer surface should be raised and there should be no heel given so that equinus deformity will not be recurred. If you look at the slide, I have written some numbers like 70, 15 and 1. This is regarding the Dennis Brown splint, that the shoes are kept in 70 degrees of abduction, external rotation, so that adduction will not recur, 15 degrees of dorsiflexion to prevent equinus deformity, and 1 inch extra. 1 inch is the extra distance between these two bars, that is the distance between the shoulders of the child is being calculated, and 1 inch extra should be the length of this scale. Surgical management. In a case of neglected CTEV, relapse CTEV or failure cases, we go for surgical management. The soft tissue procedures are usually carried out after 1 year of age. Important them are posterior medial soft tissue release, that is the tendons, capsule, and the ligaments around the posterior and the medial aspect of the foot are being released. We do Z-plasty for the lengthening of tendoachilles to prevent equinus deformity, posterior capsulotomy, and tendon transfers. Bony procedures which are usually done after 4 years of life. Important them are Dwyer's procedure, that is calcaneal osteotomy with bone grafting to correct the varus of heel. The Lichblas procedure, that is calcaneal shortening of the calcaneum at the neck, and Dilvan-Evans procedure, that is osteotomy and fusion of the calcaneocuboid joint. In a case of failed conservative treatment, relapsed CTEV or neglected CTEV presenting to you after 10 years of age, we do triple arthrodesis. Triple arthrodesis is the fusion of 3 important joints of the foot, that is talonavicular, subtalar joint, that is talocalcaneal, talonavicular, and calcaneocuboid joint. I want you to know that ankle joint is not involved in triple arthrodesis. This has been asked multiple times in the MCQ. And another important point for you, most common complication of triple arthrodesis is talonavicular joint pseudoarthrosis, a potential MCQ for your future. I hope you enjoyed this session. I believe this was educational. Hit the like button if you do so, and keep subscribed into this channel for more educational videos. Thank you.